Welcome to the spoiler review of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, aka Doctor Strange Mom. Now, it all opens up with the other Doctor Strange, who's Defender Strange, in another universe with Amanda Chavez. Well, America Chavez. I don't know why I keep calling her Amanda. But he decides to try to take her power because the person's trying to kill her is really Scarlet Witch, who's summoning these demons to come after her, America Chavez, because she thought this was much the civil way of doing it. Rather than her being just Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, coming to get her, and would have been succeeding. Would have actually grabbed the girl and had this story over with, and it'd have been over by now. But we have to have a movie, so here we go. Now, by summoning the powers of the Darkhold, Wanda, since you've seen her in the WandaVision series, is the full-out villain in this whole movie because she's feeling the hurt and the pain of always being the one to lose and never being the one to gain. And now we know that Agatha Harkness is getting a series. We can also assume that the magic has worn off or the spell has been released since the end of the film. But this was a good way to start the film, as this whole scene was all fake and the Darkhold had totally taken control of Wanda. And we see her go back and talk to her other self, and she's a shattered person. But she's obsessed with her children that she don't have. She creates this whole fake world and accidentally slips that she's the one that's after America Chavez. Then she lets everyone see where she's been, as that was all an illusion. But she never thinks about, what about the mom? What about her? And what about this America Chavez? We really know nothing about her. This is supposed to be a Doctor Strange movie. It seemed more like a Wanda Maximoff movie more than a Doctor Strange movie. It was like a Wanda movie featuring Doctor Strange. Now, America Chavez is introduced in this. I'm quite sure she's going to probably have a Disney series, as she comes from a Disney character. And what she's supposed to be is a lesbian created by a bunch of lesbian women. And a lot of people didn't know about her powers. It seems to be all women oriented. And then she ends up having a love affair with another woman. Hopefully, I don't get to see that explored into the movies. But I'm quite sure that's why she was chosen. Nevertheless, she would travel through dimensions with her power because that's what she does. So now, as you go through all these things about voices and Pride Week, you can get all the details on her background. Now, Earth 838, that's where actually Strange is sent to, him and Amanda, after the fight with Wanda. So after they go there, they run into Mordor, the one on 838. They're aware that there are multi-universes. They actually study them. Well, when people start doing things that are counterproductive to what it is that they do in normal life, they start to make different responses. Now, we remember the Fantastic Four movie, the one that people was disgusted by, which I thought wasn't as bad as people made it out to be, but it was bad. Now, we saw the first sign of somebody from the Fox universe into this universe as Doctor Strange runs into the Illuminati, which had the world's smartest man, Reed Richards. We had Black Bolt, Professor X. Iron Man went on this one. But you also had Captain Marvel, played by the other girl, the best friend, Mordor, and you had the first Avenger, Captain Carter, from the What If series. So Disney was plugging all of their absolute shows and the God forbidden Inhumans. This movie that was a one-time watch. And the Tom Cruise, everybody thought this Tom Cruise, but was actually Captain Marvel's best friend. And no, there was no Wolverine, but yes, this was the Wolverine version, the Fox version, the TV show version of Professor X, who floated around in his yellow floating chair. So Earth 838, that was their version of Black Bolt, where we learned Doctor Strange sacrificed himself because he was messing around with the Darkhold, and they took down Thanos. Now here, she finds the temple. She takes Wong there. She actually throws Wong down. He falls 50 feet. She has a fight with America Chavez, rather. They get, every time they say America's in trouble, I just start laughing. I just can't help it. America needs me. Still cracks me up. Now, when you start looking at what's happening here with where they're going to go as far as the direction in the future, it's still up in the air. But you're looking at the Darkhold, you're looking at a whole different layout, people. This is going to be something that take you all the way there. And thank you guys. Hopefully you guys have subscribed to Screen Fiend. If you hadn't, please do so right now. Hit the like button as we keep it moving. Now, this was one of my favorite scenes when she was like The Shining. She was chasing him with the leg injured. This is like everyone's favorite scene of the movie, where she goes totally crazy and wipes out the Illuminati. And Black Bolt realizes that he cannot speak to people. If he does, he could destroy them all together. There's a comic where he hits Galactus with his voice. Yeah, that happened. Captain Carter was impaled with the shield. Yeah, she wasn't good at capturing it like the other Captain Marvel. Professor X. Well, even though the scene with her trapped in the rubble as everything was falling down was just almost mirroring the fact of when she was an adult, when he tried to save her. This goes back to when she was trapped in the rubble, when everything was going down in Wachovia. So, as you're seeing now, the Dark Phoenix is very similar to this situation. You remember the Dark Phoenix scenes? They remind you a lot of Wanda. And this is like what the Dark Phoenix would have looked like, basically. Or what it should have been, rather. So now, the book of Ashanti, not the Ashanti with Jaru, but the book of Ashanti is like the light version to the dark hole. Now, what people seem to have missed in this movie that I've noticed, that in the book of Ashanti, all it is basically saying America, as you see the star logo in the book of Ashanti when it's getting destroyed. Wanda destroys the book, but when she destroyed the book, it also had in the book the star, which basically meant she was the key all along. Amanda Chavez is a one of one. She could jump through dimensions, but it's only one of her. So now Strange, who's got to use the dark hole in another dimension, still everybody's using the word incursion. And everyone keeps talking about the incursion, and now he's stuck in an incursion universe that is smashing into each other and destroying itself. He runs into Strange Supreme, who reveals another secret, that they both lost their sister when they were very young, but they never speak on it. And the only time this was even shared is when he was talking to the other Doctor Strange. Now, this has been a very interesting time, because we've seen this in Strange. Doctor Strange loses his heart. Yes, the best scene visually is when Doctor Strange has to summon his other self that was on Earth to bring him alive in order to go physically, because he's not on that Earth anymore. So he had to use the dark hold in order to pull off this feat to save America. And after the fight, you see America Chavez and everything sends her back to fight. But this scene here was epic. Shouts out to Sam Raimi for great visuals again. This was still one of the favorite shots in there, when he actually uses all of the dark souls, the lost, tortured souls, to help push him to where he needed to go. As she said, use them. And that's what he did. He used them to perfection. Went there and used all the dark, tortured souls to fight Wanda with. Very interesting. Now, Wanda is obsessed with power. She breaks free. She wants to drain America's power, rather. And the defeat of Scarlet is really a realization she's coming, that she's going to be looked at as a monster. if she goes and tries to actually take the place of these other people, of these other moms. Like, what is going to happen to the other mom? What are you going to do? Wipe them out, wipe her out, and take her place? As she seems lost and disconnected of her obsession to actually possess this power to jump from universe to universe and be with her children. That's what she wants. That's what she's supposed to do. Be with her children. Now, this is what's called chaos magic. She possesses chaos magic. Something Doctor Strange learned and actually possesses and keeps in his third eye. The Eye of Aramongo. So in the end credits, when the film is over and America actually wins and now she could use her power, as you see, using the dark hole seems to bring a third eye on your head. If you're Doctor Strange. It happened for Strange Supreme, whom turned on him and he defeated him. But his mind's eye was revealed when his so-called new girlfriend, Clea, shows up. And what she is the niece of Dormammu, the guy who he beat already and sent back. Now her problem, well, not problem, but the situation here is that her and Strange are forbidden to get married because they're from different universes. So they marry each other doing basically through the mystic arts. So they become, in the comics, husband and wife in the mystic arts. Now, if you blink, you might miss things in this film. There's a lot of things people miss. And there's a lot of things people didn't understand. Now, America Chavez is looking for her parents who fell into a dimension. She don't know where she sent them. Wong is running the entire thing. And because he is, this is a actual problem. Because now Gargantos, which was controlled by Wanda the whole time, was actually a demon of its own. Not controlled by anybody. It was its own natural being in the comics. And to see Doctor Strange fight it was great to see him fight one of his old comic book villains. But yeah, it was a time where a wizard can take control of him. But that's only in the comics. Yes, we saw her lesbian pin that she had because she's a lesbian character, America Chavez. And they harped on that a lot during the film. And they wanted to push this more and more with the character. Now, Wanda herself, I felt that this movie was great. The pace was great. I mean, there are some scenes here I probably would have changed or done a little bit different, like with America. I'm going to just keep messing that up. But yeah, with America Chavez, I just think there are some scenes that would have been worked a lot better had they actually kind of flushed out her acting a little bit. Well, a lot of these come from the comics and they combine the comics. But what looked cool was her actually going, the special effects of her going from dimension to dimension, going through those stars. That was cool. Now, she really didn't have a plight, and she's not really connected to Doctor Strange in any universe. Like, they're not married. You know, it's the girl that he knows he loves but can't be with. But as long as she's alive, he's okay. Now, everyone knows that the MCU that we know is in the universe 616 that they show. It's like area codes. It's like a fun pun, but it's just like Magneto. I'm sorry. Mysterio. Sorry about that. When he brought up the multiverse, he was just BSing, but it actually exists. And of course, the Bruce Campbell, the actual cameo with him and the hand plays back and plays off on the actual scene where his hand attacks him in Evil Dead 2. So all of his cameos and special acting abilities was put on display throughout his career. That was just an homage to that character with him and Sam Raimi. There's also the white Oldsmobile that appears always in all Sam Raimi's movies. You will always see a white Oldsmobile. And during the incursion, you start to see the Oldsmobile fly in the sky because that's what they do. So if you like Easter eggs, this is a great movie for them. I'm quite sure when they flesh out the character of America Chavez, they'll show you more about her home life and all of these different things and explore where her two moms, people are upset about the two moms in there. Can you imagine if they actually did the whole series? This is from people who don't know the comics about her actually having two moms. So yeah, it's a whole different experience. So here we go. America Chavez. So what do you think about this? Was this really a Doctor Strange movie? Or this was a Wanda movie featuring Doctor Strange? This is my spoiler review. I still love the movie. I gave it 4.5 stars out of 5, or I think 3.5 stars out of 4, I think, because that's what I do, 4 stars. So yeah, I've watched it a couple of times since I first did my initial, movie review. Not much has changed. I love the action. I love the movie. Maybe because I knew so much going in about the actual characters, it was different for me. But for an average person watching the film who never knew anything about any of it, they liked it. They thought it was creepy, eerie, the whole nine. So anyway, I'm out of here. God bless. Don't forget to subscribe. Hopefully you guys were super chatting, but if not, it's okay. We'll correct that next time, and I'm out.